Hey everybody, and welcome to another tutorial, tech tutorial. There's a random tech tutorial every once in a while on this channel, so for those of you who are here for stats, that's not what we're doing in this one. I love this app. I love this app. This is a tutorial for the new macOS Voicemod. New macOS Voicemod. Now it is in beta, so I just right off the bat, we are going to talk about how to set it up in this one, download it, set it up, put it into OBS maybe. I've got Discord. You can obviously use it in Zoom, Meets, Minecraft, all of these different games. Skype, if you still use Skype, you know, Teams, I bet. Anyways, we're going to do all of that. I'm probably not going to do a setup for each of these, but I will do at least Discord since I know the vast majority of Voicemod users use Discord, and the Voicemod community on Discord is pretty dang big. So in this tutorial, we are going to go through it all. But again, this app is in beta. So there are probably some bugs. You might have some issues getting it started. I haven't encountered any errors yet, knock on wood, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so the first thing you have to do is download it. On their website, it says for macOS and Windows 10 11. Great. I have a previous set of videos on my channel from a year or two ago when we had to use Parallels or another virtual Windows machine to get Voicemod to work, but still port that sound back into macOS so we can then use native macOS programs like OBS or Discord or something like that. So it was a bit of a hassle. That one video showing Voicemod working, my proof of concept, launched this channel. So that's great. Anyways, let's download it. So you click on Get Voicemod for free. And since it knows that we are using macOS, as you can see up here, long-awaited macOS version of Voicemod is finally here. We've been working hard to get you the best voice filters and sound effects for your Mac devices so you can join in the fun. Click on the button above to try the Voicemod for Mac Beta to enjoy the fresh Mac experience of the world's best free voice changer. Now, the voice changer itself is free, but if you want a full suite, you do need to have a Voicemod Pro account. I do have a Voicemod Pro account, so you will be seeing all of the features of a Voicemod Pro account. These features may not be what you see if you have just a free account, free access account. So be aware of that. I have a Pro account, so that's what I see. But I'll go through the app just in case you also have a Pro account and you want to get started, or if you're willing to pay for a Pro account to get the full suite of features from this beta, and then for the final release version of this Mac OS. Okay, so get Voicemod Beta for free. The last thing I'll talk about here is the download page. This depends on the chipset that you are using on your Mac. So download the MX version if you have an M1 or M2 chip, so the Apple Silicon chip, and then download the Intel version if you have an Intel. So I have two different Macs. The one that I'm recording on is an Intel Mac, iMac, and then I have a MacBook Pro that I put the MX version on. They look exactly the same. I'm assuming that they're optimized under the hood for the chipset, of course. I'm sure you could download and install the Intel version on an MX, an M1 or an M2. It'll just use Rosetta, which probably would add latency. So I don't recommend that, but you do what you do. So I've already downloaded it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it. It'll initialize the main window here, and it will pop open. And it, as you briefly saw there, you might want to pause it. It has a get started page. But since I'm already logged in, it's not asking me to log in again. So when you click the get started, and I wish I could I guess I could log out. Yeah, let me go ahead and log out to show you what it looks like. It's not a big screen like this. It's just sort of a long rectangle, I suppose. And it says limitless audio expression, take control of your sound with real-time voice changer and soundboard. We click on get started, and what it'll do is it will verify your account. Okay, I'm already logged in through their website, so it opens just if you're not familiar with this, it'll open up their account page, and then you can either click on this if you're having trouble, click on this to open it. Otherwise, it will just reform this page. Now, it's on the last page that I looked at, but for first-time users, it will open up on this Discover page. Now, it looks quite a bit different if you've used the Windows version. It does not have a full set of features yet. I'm assuming just yet for the Windows version. So we're probably going to get there. So one of the big things that I've noticed in moving around this app is that there isn't hotkey support yet. There is not hotkey support yet. Okay, so keep that in mind. So you're gonna have to be doing some clicks and things, which for efficiency's sake, not the best, especially for someone like me. I've got a Stream Deck, so I can work through really quickly going from a clean voice to another voice, back to clean, back to another voice or something like that. So that's one thing that's missing. But in any case, on the Discover page, if you've got a free user, it lets you know free users have 24 hours to enjoy this collection. Now, the cartoon collection has been around for a few days, so I'm not entirely sure. This must be some marketing gimmick here, because it's been cartoon for at least the 3 or 4 days that I've had this program installed. And then what you'll see is what the cartoon voices are. So baby, cartoon woman, cartoon man, and then a set of soundboard sound effects. So boing, realize, like a, or maybe a go upstairs, bounce, wah, 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 take off, all of these different sound effects. And then we have voice mod collections. I'll talk about those in just a minute. We have learning, so how to use it on Discord. So, take the tail end of this tutorial back for your for yourself. If you want to just look at that, that's fine. That works too. you can take their word for it rather than mine. There'll be chapters here in this video, so you can go wherever you need to go. How to set up a female AI voice. So how to use the controls here. The voice inspector, okay? Voice enhancer, how to make your voice sound better by using if you just want to use the voice mod, and I'll talk about that in a minute too. If you just want to use the voice mod microphone for all of your input, that works too. And then the full guide, and then some, socials. So join our Discord community, partner program, and and make some money. And then voice mod is on TikTok, and I think they share people doing random voice mod stuff. I don't use TikTok, so I have no idea. But the partner program is pretty cool. The Discord community, I'll admit that I am not a massive user of Discord, but they have a lot of stuff, which is really cool. And I'm sure they're talking about the beta. And for me, the beta, since I don't use Discord, for me, the beta came out in the quiet of the night. I just randomly went to their page. I knew they were working on it, randomly went to their page and saw that it was available for macOS. And I was like, holy moly. So I looked at their blog, nothing. I looked at their Twitter, nothing. I looked at their press releases, nothing. So they probably announced it on Discord, and I just don't know that. So there you go. All right. So one of the things that you'll notice on this page is a bunch of download icons from the cloud, the classic download icon from the cloud. So nothing comes with the download. So you don't have any voices when you start. You just have a voice enhancer. Just have a voice enhancer, and that's it. You don't even have a clean. You just have voice enhancer, which is quite interesting, but you can download clean pretty quickly. So one of the ways that will speed up the download process of all of this information is to go to collections. I'll skip the other two first here because collections really makes sense. So really, to get all of the voices that you want, if you are on a pro account, then you can just go through and download all of these. You just click the download button, it'll download all the sounds and all of the voices. Now, some voices overlap collections, which is fine, it just makes sense. It'll skip that, right? And so if I click on this, it'll start downloading all of these voices. And so now I have all of these AI voices on my computer, okay? And favorites, as you can see by the hearts, as I hover over one, I can click on favorite, and that'll be favorited. So Space Trooper is now favorited. So if I go back to collections, okay, I can download the rest of these. Oh, there we go. I downloaded I think a couple of the best role playing, so it looked like it was only partially done downloading. Yeah, here we go. So you can see here if I zoom in that it's partially done downloading. No, I don't want dictation. This is partially, and so I downloaded one of these, but if I click at all, the whole thing will download. Get some EDM sounds, get some oons going, right? And if I download all of these, I'll download the rest of these later. Just do some clicks there. Depending on the speed of your internet connection, that'll probably be super quick. And so you can see that I have some favorites in here. Out of range, helium, perfect. They're all favorited, excellent. I must have favorited these on my account in Windows, on my Windows version of VoiceMod. So that's maybe why or I just favored them some. So I have Speechifier, I have helium, I have Space Trooper, all of that stuff. Great. Okay. Search, you can search for a voice. So like Titan. Oops, can't spell. Golly. What am I doing? There we go. So Titan, if you want to sound like the Mad Titan, Thanos, without getting in trouble from Disney, you can sound like Titan. So I have a demo that I recorded. I have a small favorite that. So I have a demo that I recorded, and I will show that in a minute when I've gone through the whole thing. Okay. So collections, yes. And so now we have my collections, right? So create a collection. So you have no collections here. So I can create a collection. Okay. And now I can add existing content. Okay. And I can search that, create your own collection of voice and sounds. So add existing content. So I would go here. Let's add romantic in. Oops, add, not change the voice. So that's who I'm currently, that's what that symbol means. That is the voice currently selected. Okay. That's what that button means there. So either turn it off or I turn it on. Okay. Let's add Santa, baby, creepy doll, zombie, spirit, cute, chipmunk. Always good. Classic chipmunk. Okay. Kong, some of these. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff, y'all. So you can just, and then you can edit details. Custom collection. Video tutorial. Oh, I guess I gotta hit enter. Video tutorial. There we go. You hit enter or return or whatever. Whatever works. All right. So now I have a video tutorial and then I have all of these voices in here. Perfect. Last but not least, let's talk about these two buttons down here, and then we'll get to controls down here. So profile, they don't have anything there except log out, right? So if you need to do account stuff, you need to go to the website. Settings is pretty general. It says it right there. So My microphone is my Focusrite Scarlett Solo. Okay, I have a Shure SM7B attached to that. Right, so that's where this voice is coming in. And then my headphones, I have a multi-output device, and I'll talk about that here coming up in just a minute, because I have different audio streams for different recordings, different sound effects, all these kinds of different things from my streaming days, but also sometimes I use it and I need it for my podcasting or for the videos that I make. And so wherever you want to hear the voice is what you want to put in here. So, and if everything is good, Voicemod will tell you that the audio stream is up so that there is no issue between hearing yourself with this icon down here and then producing speech, okay? General default voice, I haven't gotten this to work yet, so I'm probably going to, this is where you leave some feedback, this button here. Default voice, I have voices selected. I don't know what you can do here, but again, of course, this is the only place, this is the only thing in general. So I'm assuming more to come in this particular settings window. So really fairly basic here, okay? All right, what's next? Well, we've got romantic is the voice that I had previously selected because I didn't hit add, I selected the voice, right? So when you go to the thing, if you just click on it, it's a big old hitbox, can't miss it, right? You can see down here that's changing every single time that I click it, oops, right? So I'm on zombie now, but you can see there's something behind here, right? There's something behind here. This is the voice enhancer. So if you click down here, oops, sorry, I clicked it too fast. Don't click too fast. So this is the voice enhancer that comes with the app. It's pretty much, like I said, it's the only loaded thing on here, as opposed to clean, right? So voice enhancer just wants you to sound good, or zombie, okay? So you either click between your clean voice but enhanced or the voice changing. So let me show you what this looks like with the voice inspector controls. This is just an EQ, essentially. So how much noise reduction you want, so you turn that up. If you want to do noise reduction, my heater just popped on, so of course I would want to do noise reduction to make sure that the heater doesn't get there. I would do some testing to see how much noise your environment has and go with the lowest setting on this slider. Bass range, do you want it 2? So it goes up to 5 or -5, okay? So voice enhancer, really, you want to get the proximity effect as best you can by keeping your, either your voice or your mouth next to your microphone or away from your microphone, depending on what kind of microphone you have. And you want to increase the bass because increasing the bass makes your voice sound warmer and more welcoming and just nicer. I liken the proximity effect to your ears receiving a nice warm hug, It makes everything feel so nice. I'm a bass lover. My soundbar and subwoofer upstairs when watching videos, movies and TV shows, the bass is turned up because I love feeling sound. So anyways, bass mid is -3, and you can go between 0 or dropping down your mids. So the idea here is that your 1,000 to 8,000 hertz range has a lot of weird frequencies in it. And so if we take those down, you get less sibilance, for example, that kind of stuff. Treble, the higher pitches, so above like 8K, 8 kilohertz or 8,000 hertz or something like that. You want to increase those to make your highs more crispy, right? A little sharp, not so blunted. If you don't have a lot of treble in your voice, you're going to sound muffled and muddy, and you don't want that. So play with your treble. Okay, so the more treble, you go from 10 to 0. What was it? Was it 5, right? Yeah. So you can play with that to enhance your voice as best you can. And then pitch. I'm not entirely sure what pitch does. I think pitch increases the highs versus the lows in total, I think, out of all of these. So 50 is right at the middle. If you want to sound deeper, way deeper, then you would go lower. If you want to sound really, really high pitched, then you would go higher. So 50, I think, is the middle ground there. We have 3 buttons up here. We have a reset to default. So either remember what these are all, but if you accidentally click that button, we have move it over to the side, because some of these voices have more sliders. So if you want them to be in their own little space, you can do that. You click it again to bring it back over the control button, and then X to close it, okay? As I said, this is your button to turn the voice off and on, right? So if you've got nothing here, and this is your only microphone, you are muted. This would be muted. If you are using Voicemod for your, the Voicemod microphone as your only input, this would be gray there would be muted. Of course, I'm using OBS to record this, and I'm using just my actual microphone to record this, so I am not muted, okay? But that would be muted if you're using the voice enhancer as your main microphone. And then you would click it again to be not unmuted. And then this is the hear yourself. I don't like doing this, but I know some people do. There is going to be latency with what you hear. That I can't do it. I can't do it. There's going to be, it's minuscule latency. The Voicemod crew did a great job on reducing latency, but the way macOS handles audio is pretty rough. It's not as good as Windows handles audio. And so you're going to get latency. And the more pathing that you have to do for the audio, the more latency there will be. So I don't like hearing myself, but you do you. There's going to be some delay no matter what you do. No matter how you have this set up. If the Voicemod microphone is your only microphone and you just kind of want to hear yourself, I wear headphones that gets my microphone immediately back to my ears. I can hear myself that way, so I don't sound muffled wearing headphones. But I really can't. I can't hear myself. That is a personal choice. That is a personal choice for y'all. I know what it's like to lose, to feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail nonetheless. It's frightening. Now with Voice Changer.
I know what it's like to lose, to feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail nonetheless. It's frightening.
Okay, so I'm coming to you on macOS Monterey. Of course, Ventura is the newest operating system. I'm assuming my MacBook, as I told you earlier in the video, that is an M1 and it has Ventura on it. And I tested it all out yesterday. Voicemod, it's working fine. And like I said, this Monterey, I have not encountered any issues. So macOS here is working pretty well. Now, if you have Monterey, this is what system preferences look like. If you have Ventura, now you know that it looks, they sort of made it look like iOS a little bit more. So luckily, the sound preferences, the sound preference settings look the exact same, and I think they have the same icon. I can't remember off the top of my head. But here we go to sound. I just want to quickly show you what Voicemod does when you first install it, and it will let you know in a little dialog box. I can't show you that because I already installed it on my computer, and it doesn't get rid of. And when you uninstall it and reinstall it, it doesn't get rid of the Voicemod microphone. So if you go into sound, it'll open up sound, and we have sound effects, output, and input. And you can see, oh, I'm talking. So it knows that Scarlett Solo is my input right now. So I'm going to scroll down here and show you all of the things that I've had to do to get virtual. You can see that most of them are virtual inputs. Down here at the bottom, Voicemod microphone. Look at that. That's amazing, isn't it? So when you click on this, you'll get the same input level stuff. Okay. So if I were to do that, look at this. Oh, that's amazing. You can see the Voicemod level going in there. So you can see here that it is working and it is what I want it to be, right? So I'm gonna go back to Scarlett Solo. Luckily, OBS works independently from that. So anyways, so that's your Voicemod microphone. Now, if you don't have a complicated setup like I do, then the Voicemod microphone actually might be a good place to set up your Discord, set up your Zoom, set up all of your Fortnite, whatever. It might be a good place to just live if that's all you do it for, is like gaming or like messing around with friends and stuff. Leave it there and not worry about it. Of course, in Mac you can just leave things open and it's fine. You can just leave when you close the Voicemod here, it stays open, so it would stay active while you're doing it. So that is how you set up sound settings. But of course, if you are like me and you want to have more complex sound settings, I'm going to move that over here. You want to go into audio MIDI setup. Okay, and that's going to open up all of your audio devices, right? And so you can see all of my audio devices here. Oh, Microsoft Teams audio. Horrible. Okay, and you can see here that I have set up already an Ag device. So let me show you what it looks like if you set up your own aggregate device, in case you've never done this before on macOS. So you can see my completed one, although I need to change the name to add Voicemod in there if I need to. But an aggregate device is for multiple input channels, okay? So multiple input channels. And it's okay if some of them have output channels, and that's totally fine. You can see many of my inputs here have inputs and outputs, as opposed to, actually all of them do, which is pretty cool. So, and then the other kind of device is a multi-output device. And these are devices that have lots of inputs. And you can see that I have a lot of different audio devices attached to this computer, as well as different microphones and different virtual things like Soundflower doesn't work anymore, unfortunately. And that's why I have Black Hole 2-channel, Black Hole 16-channel. So let me show you how this works if you didn't have Black Hole or anything like that. So we're going to create a new aggregate device. Okay. I'm going to delete this afterward, but that's fine. And I'm going to add in my Scarlett Solo because that's what I want. Now, it's important here that we take a look at this multi-aggregate device first. Okay. Because we want to set up the right sample rate. Sample rate has to do with how much sound, how many kilohertz is collected per sampling period, okay? So 48 kilohertz is a higher sampling rate than 44.1 kilohertz. And then you can do a lot more with this Scarlett Solo, really, with this microphone, the Shure SM7B. But most often you're going to do 48 kilohertz or 44.1. 44.1 are less powerful microphones, and so just be aware of the sampling rate capabilities of your microphone, okay, as well as your your input device if you're using a audio capture device like a Scarlett Solo or Scarlett i2 or some other kind of thing if you're using an XLR. Now, if you have a USB microphone like a Blue Yeti, for example, or a Blue Snowball, then you're going to plug that directly into your computer through USB. So there won't be an XLR device here. It's just the Shure SM7B is an XLR microphone. Okay, so I always have my sample rate at 48 because it is a higher quality of sound, right? So it captures more sound within that sampling period. But you have to be aware of where you want it. And obviously want it to be the device that has the best ability, okay? Now, I've got that in there. Now I'm going to click on Voicemod microphone, and it's going to add Voicemod. Now, Voicemod is a 2-channel in-out microphone, so one left, one right, okay? If you use it in a DAW, a digital audio workspace like Adobe Audition, then you are, or even Audacity, then you are probably going to be choosing the left mono channel if you are like recording a video or something like that. Or recording a podcast or something like that. It's going to be coming in the left channel. Same thing for the Scarlett Solo. It's not different from that because input 1 is the left channel for the Scarlett Solo, or particularly this microphone itself, right? So here we have the Scarlett Solo, or my microphone, and the Voicemod microphone in an aggregate device. Now, since I have 2 devices in here, the clock source, this is where macOS determines the timing of the audio. This is the latency. So you want your microphone to be the clock source, but I could make Voicemod microphone my clock source. I'm not going to, but it is a thing that you can do. There's also the help function over here in case you're lost. Okay, so the Scarlett Solo is going to be my clock source. My sample rate is 48 kilohertz. The last thing I want to do is come over here and click on drift correction for the Voicemod microphone. Drift correction is a way that macOS, the operating system itself, handles latency. Okay, so as far as I'm aware, I'm not a macOS audio technician, so I have no idea. I shouldn't say I have no idea. I've read a lot about drift correction. Now, drift correction is a way to keep the other audio devices as close as possible to your clock source. So if your clock source is your main microphone, then drift correction is a way to keep that timing, that latency, as close as possible to the main microphone, especially if you're dealing with Voicemod or Soundflower or Black Hole, which are all virtual audio devices. There's literally no physical sound in the operating system. The sound is generated digitally inside the computer. The files are in the computer? What? So and then you would name that, and then you can use this aggregate device in other programs. Okay, so that's how you would set up an aggregate device, okay? And then there are plenty of tutorials on how to use aggregate devices and programs and things like that. I'm not really going to go through that here in this tutorial. I wanted to put it up just in case you all wanted to do that. All right, so let's set up Voicemod in OBS. As you can see here, I've got a bunch of docs that I need to get rid of. I don't need stream information. There we go. All right, let's set up our OBS to use with Voicemod. So we're going to make sure that we have all of our settings the way that we want to first, to make sure that we have the tracks in the right place. So this is an old setup that I have for recording videos and streaming. As you can see, a bunch of crap here. This is the only thing that I do in this one, so it's mostly fine. I'm gonna go into my settings first, and then I'm gonna go to output, just to make sure that I've got everything set up the way that I want to. So for streaming, this is the encoder information that I have up. I used to use software encoding X264. It's the way that it goes. I'm not super into different codecs and stuff. I'm not really a filmmaker or an advanced person, so regardless. So I don't really care about streaming, but I'm gonna go to recording, and I'm just gonna use the standard. And because we're recording here, I can't make any changes except for the encoder settings. I do record at 30,000 kbps for the best quality for YouTube, because then it'll get rendered in a smaller amount, but having the pixels and bitrate there to go smaller makes my videos a little bit better. But what I wanted to point out here is that I record tracks 4, 5, and 6. So when I add Voicemod here, I want it to be on a separate track because I don't want it to overlap with my normal audio, which as you can see down here. So I want to make sure that when I add the Voicemod input, I'm probably going to put it on either 5 or 6. I record, and I'll show you in the advanced audio setup that I record my regular audio through my SM7B, my Scarlett Solo on track 4. So 5 and 6 are available for sound effects or for a different voice, like Voicemod. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and close this to make sure we have that all set up. And now how do we add in Voicemod? It's really easy. It's an audio input device. So I'm going to go down here to the plus sign under my sources for my Acer screen recording scene. And I'm going to click on add. And I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to click on audio input capture. Now, if you haven't done this before, you're going to want to create new, and you can call this Voicemod or whatever. I did this already as a test, so I've done this already. So I'm actually going to add existing, and I'm going to go down to Voicemod MacOS, because this is referencing this particular program here that you can see the Voicemod sitting behind it. So I'm going to go to Voicemod macOS. You can name it whatever you want. I wouldn't leave like audio input capture, though. I would actually name it so you can see it. And so here it is. There it is in all of its glory. It is muted right now, so we're going to leave it muted for now, because as you can see, it is recording my input at the same level. It also has some sounds have background noises, and so I didn't want that to be like in the background or anything like that. So we're going to leave it quieted, okay? And we're going to go to one of these three hamburger menus. It doesn't really matter where we go, but we're going to go to, not that one. We're going to go here to Advanced Audio Properties, and it's going to bring up this window. As you can see, I'm just double checking that it's in the recording. So yeah, there it is. It's covering my thing. And here we have our two inputs. We have Scarlett Solo. For stream, it's on track 1. For recording, it's on track 4. And in a previous iteration of this, I did a boo-boo. I put it on track 2, not 4, 5, or 6. So I'm re-recording a previous thing that I'd done because it was a big old goof that I did. So we're going to make sure that I'm going to leave it on 2 because I use 1, 2, and 3 for streaming, even though I haven't streamed in a long time. And I'm going to go ahead and also make a click on 5, track 5 here, because again, you can have 6 tracks. I'm going to put Voicemod on track 5. And so anything that happens on this track here or through Voicemod is going to put on track 5 in the recording. And I can do this on the fly. I don't have to have this set up before I record. I can have it go while I'm recording. Okay, so a couple of things before I close this particular window, the advanced audio properties. So both statuses are active, and if so you'd have an error, then it would be listed as inactive. You can also, I think, hide. We can go to properties, doesn't have any properties. I'm not entirely sure what the inactive I've never seen anything different. You can change the volume output of these. You can either do percentages or decibel levels. Mono, I'm actually going to check that because it technically is mono, even though you would likely be hearing stereo. However, you're listening to this right and left, it's going to go to right and left. The output here is, you can see mono, because really Voicemod is only recording the left input. You don't see the levels changing there. So I'm gonna make it mono. You don't have to make it mono, excuse me, if you want to use the background tracks, because those might be stereo. So it might actually be a good idea to leave it off. I don't like the backing. You're gonna hear some of that because it's part of this test. But your right and left balance, your panning options, leave it in the middle. Now, earlier in the video, I have a quick test to show you how it works with my face, because the rest of the video doesn't show my face. And so sync offset is to change whether or not you've got latency. Latency is really important when you're using virtual input devices, audio input devices, because latency is going to desync your audio and visual. So if you're showing your voice, if you're showing your face, you want that audio to look like it's coming out of your mouth as opposed to not coming out of your mouth and merely getting changed on the outro. Basically, the outcome is the change, but your voice is still your voice, right? So if you have any latency, you're going to want to use sync offset. I don't need any sync offset for my Scarlett Solo because that's my timekeeper. But you may need it for your Voicemod if you have a lot of programs running, you don't have a lot of RAM, this sort of thing. Whatever programs and apps you have open while you're recording or streaming is going to impact the latency. So be aware of that. You can see a slight latency between these two. It's really minuscule. It's probably less than several frames. I think it's about 9 frames worth. And so you might want to shift that if that's the case. And frames doesn't really help with audio because you need a millisecond output. So you can use apps that you find online or websites that you find online to sync your audio better. Or you can open up like a editing suite like DaVinci Resolve or Premiere Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, and help you to figure out. Now, the way that you do this is pretty simple. Once you know the amount of time that you need, just fiddle with it as best you can. There was a great website that I found yesterday that I'll throw into the window here just to show you. So it was on squares.tv, and it's this website here. The easiest way to sync your mic audio in OBS, and it's used to use with the clap test basically. So this is a video on how to use it, and you can launch the calculator here. But this is where you would do it. So you have sync offset, and then you do a clap. You record yourself doing a clap, and then you go here, and it shows you where to find it and where it is, and then it does the calculation for you, right? So 300 milliseconds or 9 frames in this particular setup, and so you would do 300 milliseconds, and that's because I believe the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this guy has the audio coming before the video. Oh, so I had that backwards then. So 300 milliseconds is the delay for audio to visual catching up. So if audio comes before video, you need a positive delay. If video comes before audio, then you need a negative delay. Video before audio, negative delay. negative delay here, video before audio. That basically slows down the video to meet up with the audio. And if the audio comes before video, then you need to slow down your audio to match up with the video. So that would be a positive offset. Anyways, that's the advanced audio properties. Okay, so here we have track 4, track 5. The checkbox comes before the number. I wish this was a little bit easier to read. So let's do a little test here. So I am going to mute my mic and unmute the voice mod. Now, it doesn't really sound different, right? Because I just have voice enhancer on. What if I switched it to clean? Well, I don't want to switch it to clean. Let's switch it to
Cartoon Man. There we go. Now it should sound like a cartoon man. Let me show you my audio, the sync here in real time. Cartoon Man. Isn't that nice? It just rolls off the tongue. So that's what Cartoon Man is.
Now, if you click
on the voice inspector, you can see that for this, there's just a pitch and a mix here to make me sound like a cartoon man. But let me find Zombie for a second. Here's Zombie. So Zombie, I'm doing the wrong thing. So Zombie has an ambient effect. Let me turn it up. You can hear underneath my voice the stereo burning background. I can click this off, and it won't be there anymore. Click it back on, there it is. To make it quieter, you want the ambient background. You can make it smaller, or you can just turn it off, or you can turn it down to 0, either one. Turn it off that way. All right, I'm going to stop being a zombie here. So I'm going to go back to this.
And now I'm unmuted in there, and you can see the streams, again, are still active. And so if you want, you can
just do this with the zombie.
And then switch back and forth with voice enhancer. Look at that. Oh, don't do it too fast. If you do it too fast, you'll get that error message. I found that out. So we
go back to zombie.
Back to my voice enhancer. I don't really know. I haven't played with these settings, to be honest with you.
Back to zombie.
Back to voice enhancer. So if you set up a hotkey to switch back and forth between these once hotkeys are available, that would be great. Otherwise, you can set up a hotkey between these. When you press the hotkey, one mutes and the other one doesn't. And then when you press the hotkey, it goes back to normal. That's how you can set up a hotkey. And one key will do the work of unmuting one while muting the other. All you have to do is set the hotkey to be the same. If we go to settings and we go to hotkeys, then you can scroll down to the inputs themselves. Just gonna find my inputs. So there's Scarlett Solo. So you'd set up a hotkey for muting and unmuting, and they're linked. Okay. And then if we go all the way down to Voicemod macOS, again, you would link. You can also do push to mute or push to talk. Okay. So you can set that up. I'm not going to do that because I'm just showing you this. So I'm going to go to cancel there. So that's how you set up very easily Voicemod in OBS if you use your voice changer in streaming or recording. Okay, so here's a quick tutorial for how to set this up in Discord. Okay, so I have my Voicemod open. Okay, and I've got the chipmunk voice selected. So just in case you want to hear what that sounds like.
Here's what the chipmunk voice sounds like. I don't know, is there any background track to this? No. Hopefully it makes me sound like a chipmunk. Let me see. Can I hear myself? Yeah. That sounds like a chipmunk. Yeah. Okay. Ah, good times.
So let's go with regular voice for this. So I've got Voicemod all set up. Now, if I go into to Discord, I keep forgetting the name of this damn program. So if I go to Discord, my default is Scarlett Solo. Make sure that you are not muted while doing this. Okay, so I've got my default as Scarlett Solo, but Discord, Zoom, and your video games and Skype and all of that is really going to only have one input device. So my advice would be to set up your voice enhancer to where your voice sounds really, really, really good. And then go ahead and switch it to the Voicemod microphone. And that way you can go back and forth between the chipmunk and your voice enhancer or whatever voice you want. So it can do that for you. We can also do a level check to make sure that we can hear ourselves. And it's true, we can. So we're going to stop testing that. Okay. And you can do voice activity that works here. Or you can do push to talk. So press a button to push to talk. Other advanced, so it uses the Opus voice codec, which is really nice. I've got echo cancellation all set up, and I've got crisp as the background noise filter. So this would allow me then to go back and forth between Chipmunk or my voice enhancer. So I also realized that my voice enhancer really, really sucks. So I need to just do this. I have no idea if this makes it sound better. Let me see if this makes it. Yeah, this makes it sound a little bit better, but not a lot. Let's turn up the bass just a little bit. So I would go back and forth between
voice enhancer and Chipmunk in while I'm, streaming or talking with people on Discord, that kind of stuff. That would be
how we would go ahead and do that. So again, in Discord, your input device is Voicemod and your input volume is whatever. You can check to see if it's working. This turns green if it detects what's going on, and that works, right? So if you have issues if this doesn't turn green, and you can check your mic issues here and troubleshooting guide and all of that. So that's quickly how you set up Discord, Voicemod, input device. Have fun with that, y'all. And that is going to do it for this tutorial on setting up the new Voicemod beta on macOS, a native program. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, please leave those in the comment section down below. I will get to everything you have as best I can. Also help each other in the comments, reply to other people, like comments, and help each other out in the comment section. I love having a nice community around that. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll get to them as soon as I can. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.